of TalentSprint. We have Shri Chaubal, who is the Chairperson of CDSL and also visiting faculty to NIBM. Dr. Partha, who is the Director of NIBM. Dr. Arindam Bandyopadhyay, who is the Associate Professor and Dean Education of NIBM, and Sridhar, who is the Chief Business Officer of TalentSprint. I hand over the mic to Santanu, who will take us through TalentSprint's journey and also speak a few words about the partnership. Thank you. Over to you, Santanu.
Thank you so much, Arunima. It's a great pleasure to be here. And on behalf of NIBM and TalentSprint, I'm delighted to extend my warm welcome to all the journalists, eminent journalists who have gathered for this virtual press conference. I also extend my warm regards to my fellow panelists, especially Shri Chaubal, distinguished banker and sort of part of the financial service industry, as was introduced. Dr. Partha, formerly Ann Calcutta, now Director of NIBM, Professor Arindam, my colleague Sridhar, and all the other faculty of NIBM and other distinguished people who are on this press conference. So my warm welcome to all of you. I wanted to just spend a few minutes talking about some disconnected points and try to connect them together. I think if you look at TalentSprint as a company, and I spent a minute on this, TalentSprint is now part of the NSE group. We are one of the leading edtech firms in the country and now increasingly in the world. We have just launched international operations as well. But long story short, over the last decade, we have been a major enabler of high quality, high-end education, especially at the intersection of technology, banking, and other kinds of domains, to working professionals and young professionals. We have trained more than 2 lakh working professionals, industry professionals over the last decade, and some of our programs in partnership with IISc Bangalore, IIM Calcutta, IIT Kanpur are all well regarded, and now we are also in partnership with Google and partnership with Carnegie Mellon and so forth. So long story short, we are an edtech company that works closely with institutions to bring about the best quality intervention that is relevant to the changing, or rather rapidly changing, landscape of industry around us. In that regard, of course, partnering with NIBM is a very special privilege. Professor Partha and I, we go back some time in our past when he was at IIM Calcutta, and NIBM being a very distinguished organization, institution of academic excellence, part of the RBI charter to help banks provide and get better talent. This is a great initiative, and I'm sure this program itself on banking and bank leadership for the banking sector in a digital world is of great interest, I'm sure, to the entire industry. Now, why is digital influence on banking so critical? Let me just spend a few words on it. In this case, I would just like to remind you of some famous statements made many years ago by some eminent people. I think Bill Gates was the first one to say in 1990 that we all need banks, but we all need banking, but who needs banks? Right? If you think about it in that sense, banking is becoming a service. It's becoming, in fact, a virtual service on our phones. In fact, today, most young people tell you that for them, the phone and the bank is indistinguishable, and they don't know what a branch is. In fact, many of them don't even know what the bank branching itself, branch banking itself was all about, right? So for them, the mobile application has become the primary bank, and they all grow up with mobile banking immersively. Of course, now we are entering the sort of age of metaverse. So with AR and VR, I'm sure in the future, banking will be just wearing a particular sort of eyewear, and you are in the bank, right? So that's going to be perhaps the future of banking. So clearly, we are seeing technology disrupt bank in significant ways, and people need banking services, but the traditional idea of bank is going through major virtualization, or it's converting itself. The other quote that comes to mind is from Jamie Dimon, who is still the chairman and CEO of this large American bank called JP Chase. And Jamie Dimon said in 1995 that a bank is nothing but a technology company in disguise, right? Which basically says that to be a great bank, you have to first master technology. And I think that today is very clear that if you look at the market cap of banks and organizations, financial organizations and fintech companies, the more technology you see in a bank, the more likely it has a higher valuation, higher reach, and a much more exciting business model, right? The traditional bank is therefore under attack. So that is another example. And the third example I'll give, and close out my comments because we have already a few minutes each. if you just look at what has happened in the last few months since the budget, there has been talk about the central bank digital currency, right? Already RBI is talking about launching a digital rupee, just like China has launched digital yuan, and there is discussion around the world that perhaps in the next 5 to 10 years we will see the entire currency note itself getting dematerialized. Just like share certificates became virtual, currency notes are going to become virtual, issued by the RBI. So all of a sudden we'll be carrying around digital currencies in our mobile wallets. And maybe that's the future. So clearly we are seeing digital coming at it from all sides, all angles. And therefore this program is designed for all the learners who are going to be in the banking sector, entering the banking sector or in the banking sector, who really want to reskill, retool, upskill themselves into a new world of banking, building upon what they already know and moving towards what the world is becoming. And one of the words I like to leave with you is the word phygital, which you hear a lot, that the physical banking is becoming digital banking, and we are in an era of transition called phygital banking. And perhaps as time goes on, we will ultimately have banking in the metaverse. So all this being a very exciting times for the banking sector and the technology sector, I'm delighted to announce this partnership with NIBM, and I welcome all of you once again, and I have great aspirations for this program and this partnership. So thank you so much, and back to you, Arindam.
Thank you, Shantanu. I will now ask Dr. Partha to say a few words about this partnership, NIBM and TalentSprint. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you. Thank you, Arindam, eminent journalists. I'm quite excited about this partnership. Those of you know, NIBM has a long association. We were established in 1969. But like a phoenix, we have recreated ourselves at different stages. We have been active in 3 specific fields of education. We have been active in research. We have a 2-year program. But where we have been most active is this executive education for bankers. And if you think of a long association, we might have, so to say, trained something like 150,000 bankers who are at different levels of banking industry today. And this includes private sector, public sector, foreign banks all together. So we have been quite broad in that space. In some sense, therefore, it might not be a very tall claim to say that we understand banking. These are the needs of banking and financial sector. As Santanu has repeatedly emphasized, digitization is the present and all the more the future of banking. We have made this transition in a number of programs of ours, in our faculty, in our research. Digitization forms a very, very strong place. For whom these programs could be the bankers, the shadow bankers, IT professionals, banking and financial insurance sector, the consulting professionals, so on and so forth. So everybody who needs banking would be very, very important here. And with our own research backdrop, we are well equipped to train the executives to function in a multicultural and multinational environment. And why do I emphasize that? Is essentially because, so it's like various kinds of banks, even the new niche, like small payments bank, like small finance bank, all of these we have been associated with in the training space. So we really, if there's a tagline of this program to us, I would say we believe in the mergers and acquisitions of theory and practice. We don't believe that in this field, this program is going to teach you M&A of theory and practice. I'll end here. We'll rather take the Q&A as it comes through.
Dr. May I now request Shri Chaubal to speak about the importance of digital banking as a career. Thank you, Dr. Chaubal.
Thank you, Arindam. I hope I am audible. And
yes, you're audible.
So this, I am actually a commercial, I was a commercial banker. I spent about 38 years in State Bank of India. So my view is, of course, more or less congruent with what my earlier speakers have said. I will only add to this that a commercial bank exists for people whom it serves. And secondly, the most important focus of any commercial bank is profit with growth. Now, in this objective, a new paradigm was added about 25 years back, 25-30 years back, that's of technology. So, technology revolutionized the manner in which the banking was being done before that. I mean, before 90s, the way that banking was done, that entire manner was revolutionized by the advent of technology over a period of time. As the technology grew, as the technology advanced, the manner of delivering banks' products and services changed. So, that is most important thing. Second thing is that technology enabled something which was, as commercial bankers, we found it very difficult. For instance, in State Bank of India, we were told, since beginning, in some form or the other, what we call now financial inclusion. So how to reach vast population of country was a major challenge. Say for instance, we have 6,50,000 and odd villages, maybe 6,38,000 or something. And each village does not have a branch. Our total branch network of all commercial banks put together would be about maybe 1 lakh to 1 lakh, something between that. Now, if we have to expand to reach all the nooks and corners of the country by brick and mortar banking, it is just impossible. This task of financial inclusion and reaching all the people or majority of the households in the country is made possible theoretically and practically through the adoption of technology. So technology is the key now to banking. All of us are using technology in some way or the other for banking. For instance, though I have a current account with the bank, I have not visited my bank for last 1 year because I use only ATM, internet banking and other services, and so is with others. So technology has revolutionized even the way the ordinary citizen does banking. Technology has revolutionized, the pandemic has shown that technology has revolutionized the payment mechanism. Even the small fruit vendor or a rickshawala, they are using now Paytm, they are accepting digital payments. So the payment gateways, the payment systems have been revolutionized. Banking technology has revolutionized the manner in which the banking services are being delivered. So against this backdrop, I remember a saying of Marshall McLuhan who said, medium is the message. So I would say, now banking is technology. It won't be, wrong to say that banking is technology. So unless the bankers understand technology, assimilate technology, understand the inherent risk, underlying risks in adopting this technology, the bankers will not be able to develop viable business models to achieve their overall growth of profit and growth. That will remain. Whatever be the technology, no bank can survive without profit or growth. Now, the thing is, how you adopt this technology, how you assimilate this technology, how you learn this technology, and how you use this technology imaginatively is going to determine the future of the bank. And bank is nothing but people. Banking is people. So the bank officers who form the brain of a bank, so to say, the core of a bank, unless they understand this technology, how will they take the bank forward? How will they integrate the goals of the bank with the expectations of the society, the expectations of the owners, the government, or the stakeholders, the shareholders? So, the importance of technology cannot be overemphasized or underemphasized. It is just there, and unless you give it its due importance, the bankers certainly will be left behind. Now, for instance, the modern technology such as
artificial intelligence, cloud computing, robotics, API, cyber security, all these are creating new challenges and opportunities for banks and financial institutions. And millennials are turning to fintech solutions. So existing relationships are getting fragmented for essential financial services such as deposits, loans, payments, and investments. It is important to build new business models, new products and services, and newer delivery platforms. Consumer expectations are ever rising. Right now we are having a hybrid model in the sense that we are delivering technological services through technology as well as we have got branch banking. Many banks are opening branches. So branch banking is there as well as electronic banking or fintech banking is there. So for this, new skill sets are required. For instance, if you see the workforce of the different banks, the State Bank of India itself will have more than 5 lakh employees, and similarly other banks. The total banking sector workforce is estimated to be about 1 million. Maybe Professor Bandyopadhyay will correct me. But it's a large workforce, and there is a challenge before all banks to quickly impart the new skills, new technological skills to this workforce. So to that extent, even this talent age has a great opportunity in this field because they have large workforce to opportunity to train a large workforce with cutting edge ideas in the financial technology. If you see the websites of banks in India, you will be happily surprised that they give due importance to the digital initiatives. State Bank of India, ICI.